Hello everyone and welcome back to another Figurehead Reviews video, and today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends Weapon X from the Caliban Build-A-Figure wave. Here we have Weapon X displayed in the front window. We get the X-Men logo, Weapon X logo, Legends logo, Caliban logo all in the front. We have some artwork here of Weapon X on the side. It's the same on both sides and as well as on the back. Back here we do have all the other figures needed in this wave to complete the Caliban Build-A-Figure, and at the top we have the read-up. The Weapon X program experiments on humans and mutants alike, including Wolverine, who undergoes a brutal process that bonds adamantium to his skeleton. And down here at the bottom we do have the UPC code, so you can check with your local retailer to see if they have this in stock. But enough about that, let's get this open and take a look at Weapon X. And here is Weapon X outside of his packaging, and very cool looking figure. Hasbro is certainly getting use out of that Wolverine body mold, and I think it's really cool. We're getting pretty much every version of Wolverine, especially with that 80 years first appearance Wolverine. We got Weapon X, we got the brown suit, we got the tiger stripe suit, we got the civilian version, we got the version with the cowboy hat coming out here soon, the variant. So a lot of different Wolverines that we could have on display, and I'm already seeing people posting pictures of this figure sitting in a jar of water and doing their own diorama setups, and I think that is really, really cool. When standing straight up, this figure is coming in at about 5 7/8 inches tall, which puts him at about 14.9 centimeters, so he continues to be on the shorter side, which is comic accurate. He does come with his Build-A-Figure piece, which is the leg for Caliban, but we'll look at that when we actually put Caliban together. Aside from that, he does come with an additional head sculpt, so we'll get a look at that, and then we'll get a better look at Weapon X. And here we are up close with the sculpt with the helmet on, and yeah, it's pretty cool looking. I like the design overall. I like especially that a lot of these new designs that we're getting where helmets are being worn, it looks like it's a separate piece that's glued on to a separate head sculpt, which is nice because then it actually looks like a helmet on a head versus everything being sculpted together. So I really do like that. But overall, it's a pretty cool design, and yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot to it in terms of the coloring. Obviously, we have some good paint going on there, but the eye, or rather the visor, looks like it could have been lined up a little bit better, but overall, still not bad. If you do want to swap it out, you're going to have to pull the plug on this guy, and unfortunately, it doesn't give us anywhere to plug it in for the unmasked version, so you can just have it, stick around the back or something like that, and then you're just going to pop this off, and I will say this head sculpts for this particular setup seemed like they were a little difficult. Let me go ahead and do this off screen. And there we go, we got the other head on now, and yeah, it's just a little tough, so you can see just kind of what I'm talking about. That ball joint is really deep in there as far as the sculpt goes, especially on this one, and when I'm trying to hold him, I'm obviously trying not to put too much pressure on the belt and stuff, so yeah, just be careful and kind of take it easy putting the head sculpt on there. But looking at this particular head sculpt, and I gotta say, I'm not thrilled with it. The main reason is clearly they're trying to convey just Wolverine's pure rage here, and I'm not feeling it in the eyes. Like, the mouth certainly is wide open, fangs showing, but the eyes I just feel like don't look angry to me. I don't know, what do you guys think? Am I off on that, or what? It doesn't look like he's angry. It looks like he's yawning, I guess. I don't know, maybe that's just me. But we do get some subtle shading in the hair on the front and the sides, but then that shading does stop on the back, so oh well. Looking down at the rest of the figure, though, we do see the use of that Wolverine body mold, and this time we just get the flesh color with the painted on chest hair and things like that, so still not bad looking, and I love the tubes going around, and we actually do get two different style tubes, so you can see we get this one that just has like the little ribs there going throughout, and then you get this one that has other tubes and things like that surrounding it, so really cool looking. The belt, we get all the pieces on there, very cool. Not a whole lot of paint necessary, but we get some good detail, and then on the back, so we have tubes going to the wrist straps here, which obviously are intended to be going into him, and then that one is going there, this one wraps around, goes there, and then the one that comes from here is what ran to the helmet, but again, with the unmasked head sculpt, we just have it on there. And then looking at the rest of it, there's not a whole lot else to it, so you just get some basic feet there, And we get some hair sculpted. And I will say, we get some hair sculpted on the side. But I will say, when I first saw this, I was like, oh man, I got the hair on this leg, but not on this leg. Because as I was looking at it, I was holding it at that angle and not realizing that I had to turn it. And it's just on the outside. But yeah. So looking at the articulation, you do have a head that can go side to side, and this goes for both of the head sculpts, but every time I turn it, the hair keeps catching on this harness, but that's not a big deal. This head does look down quite a ways, but it doesn't look back very far because of the hair, and this head sculpt has the same issue. So you're going to get down, but you're not going to get as much back. You do have arms that can come up quite a ways. Just make sure as you're posing up, you're just kind of making sure, yeah, you can see how this one is putting pressure on it. So just be careful how you're doing that. You do have a butterfly joint, so you can go back and forwards, which is very cool. You do have full rotation on the shoulder, but again, you're not going to do a full rotation because of that. Same thing with the bicep swivel. You're going to stop at some point. You do have double jointed elbow, but that bicep is so big that it just prevents it from going all the way. So, oh well. You do have rotation and a hinge on the wrists, and then you do have the standard port for the claws going into the fists, and you'll note that there are no accessories with this figure, so you don't get a, the claws tucked in version. So, yeah. You do have an ab crunch that can crunch down quite a ways. It can go back quite a ways as well. We do have a waist rotation under there. You have legs that can come apart that far. He can kick forward, not too shabby. Kick back, not much. Upper thigh cut, double jointed knee, and then he does have a hinge and ankle rotation. And real quick, before we do comparisons, since I just mentioned about not having the declawed hands, this is the fist from the six-arm Spider-Man. So the flesh tone matches, but you can see the fist looks pretty small, especially when you see it compared to the fist that it comes with. So, yeah, I mean, you could put that on there, and some angles it might work. But I think you'll probably be better off just taking the claws out of the fist and then just trying to have an angle like this where you don't see, the ports in there, because yeah, that doesn't look right at all. And here is Weapon X next to two of the classic Wolverine costumes that we've gotten so far, with the tiger stripe and the brown suit Wolverine. And finally, here we have the entire wave next to each other. We have Beast and Blink, Skullbuster, Jubilee and Weapon X in front of the Caliban Build-A-Figure, and then Gambit and Forge. And that about does it for this review, everyone. And overall, I think the biggest issue that I'm going to have with this figure is how I'm going to pose him. I have him here kind of checking out his new adamantium claws. And yeah, I don't know where he's going to belong in my X-Men setup. I'm probably going to have some sort of standalone thing, or maybe I'll actually build like his chamber that he's always depicted in, that water chamber or something like that beforehand. I don't know, but let me know what you think. How are you going to display him? Where are you going to put him in the collection? I'm actually curious. I want to see some ideas. But aside from that, if you like this video, please hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe for more content just like this. And aside from that, thanks for watching my video and have a great day.